Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to this IC Markets webinar. Crypto does not take a vacation, exploring holiday opportunities. My name's Chloe, I'm with Trade with Precision, and I'll be with you for the next hour going through the crypto markets, having a look at some technical analysis and seeing if we can find any opportunities within. So before we get started properly, I'd just like to take this opportunity to ask you to pop into the questions box whether you can see my screen okay and whether you can hear my voice okay. That would be fantastic. So go into the questions box and say hi and just give me some feedback that you can see my screen and hear my voice okay. That would be fantastic. And in the meantime, I will just give you the opportunity as well to read this risk disclaimer slide. So just have a quick glance through the slide, make sure you agree with everything therein, and then we can get started properly. Thanks, Saidia. Great to have you along, and thanks for the feedback. Okay, that should be enough time to have read through that slide. So a little bit of background information about myself, first of all, for those of you who haven't had a webinar with me in the past. My name's Chloe, and I am a trader based in London. I've been trading full-time for 12 years now, and I'm predominantly a trend-based trader or momentum-based trader. I trade with the major market flow and predominantly technical. I use technical analysis. I would say 99.5% of my decision making is based on technical analysis. And I trade most leveraged markets from stocks to indices to commodities, metals, forex, etc. And I trade across most different timeframes as well. So I do some swing trading on the 4-hourly and daily timeframes, and I do go down to intraday timeframes. The lowest timeframe I trade on is the 15-minute timeframe. I find that gives me enough time to consider trades without being too rushed, but it does give me a good reward to risk as well, and a fast movement of the market. So with that said, I'd also like to take this opportunity to let you know that this session, we should try and keep it as interactive as possible. So if you do have any questions as we go through, then I would love you to pop those into the questions box so that I can answer them for yourself and for the other people listening. I'm sure they'll find anyone else's questions a benefit as well. So let's get started then. The agenda for today, we are going to be doing technical analysis on cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. I will look at some other cryptocurrencies as well. We're going to look out for possible potential price moves in the last days of 2022. I cannot believe that we're saying that already, but these really are the last days of 2022 because we are somehow in December. And we are going to talk about building a watch list of promising crypto assets. So without further ado, let me take you through to my charts. Okay, so we're going to start off with Bitcoin and have a look at some technical analysis on Bitcoin. Now, what I tend to do for any market that I trade, not only cryptocurrencies, is I tend to start on the monthly time frame so that I can get the maximum information I possibly can on the chart. And that is where I draw my major horizontal levels of support and resistance. And it's those levels really that I use as a roadmap as to where price might be headed next. So we can see here on this monthly time frame, I've got this lower level at around 13,088, 13,090, somewhere like that. That was a strong level of resistance that could potentially become support. And then the level just above price as well, we can probably see these more clearly on a weekly time frame. So the level that I've got just above price here at around 17,560 or thereabouts, that is based on a monthly or weekly time frame as well, based on this previous what had been the all-time high back in 2017, resulting in or leading towards this massive drop-off. Then after the recovery happened, the price found resistance at this lower level, 13,000, and then again it plunged through, but then found support at the higher level there, 17,500, and it found price didn't return from the end of 2020 all the way through to 2022. Price didn't return to that level, but when it did, it reacted strongly again at that level. So horizontal levels I tend to find very well respected in the cryptocurrency markets. So it's, in my opinion, well worth having some horizontal levels drawn on your charts to give you a little bit of a roadmap as to what might happen next. I have had some feedback that someone is struggling to hear sound. Are you all able to hear my sound? If you could give me some feedback, and I'll just reply briefly to this person. Okay, hopefully that will help to sort the issue out. Okay, so what I tend to do is I tend to have 1 or 2 levels beneath price and 1 or 2 levels above price that are relevant to my trading. So the next level beneath price really for me would be probably around this level, around 9895 or thereabouts. So I'll pop that one in as well, just in case, because we never know what's going to happen. And these cryptocurrency markets, when they move, they can move, as you can see from this chart, they can move very, very sharply. And so if another horizontal level of support is broken, then I need to know where price could be headed next. So then on to the daily time frame, and the daily time frame is really where I start to analyze trend. I already have an idea in my mind from the monthly and weekly what the trend is, but it's the daily time frame that I really start to consider actually trading the trend, if there is one. So what I can see here on Bitcoin is that price has really been quite within a trading range, certainly from the middle of this year all the way through to the beginning of last month, so towards the beginning of November. So price has been in this range pretty much flat for most of September and October, and then we have this bit of a dip at the beginning of November, followed by more ranging price action. So it is evident to me from this ranging price action that the people in this market are waiting. There isn't an awful lot going on in this market. People are just waiting to see what will happen next. There is a lot of indecision here with this sideways movement of the market, and people literally just sitting waiting for something to happen. And I think in terms of investing, those people looking to buy and hold cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically are waiting, quite rightly, for the right time to do so. And the right time to do so, or one of the right times to do so, could be once it looks evident that price is going to start recovering. Because what one doesn't want to do is one doesn't want to buy into Bitcoin or into anything for that matter if there is going to be another move lower. And from this chart here, this price action that we see, I can't say for sure that there isn't going to be another move lower. Because the only thing that really would indicate to me that a move higher is more likely would be a series of higher lows and higher highs. So much the same, let me get my pen up. So what we saw over here is we did actually see a series of higher highs and higher lows, very shallow. They're not strongly trending, you know, it's nothing like this where we've got very definite lower highs and lower lows, very shallow, but it was a series of higher highs and higher lows. That kind of price action there would get me interested in potentially buying Bitcoin or anything again. However, since then, what has happened is price has come down, made a new low. So we've now got a lower low, lower high, and then into this range. So that portion of the uptrend has been invalidated by this lower high and lower low. Then price has just been ranging from then, apart from here where we dropped down. And this is what I said about it being important to have several levels of horizontal support and resistance on your charts, because once price drops through one level, you're going to need to know where the next level is so that you can make a plan as to what you might consider trading. So in terms of investing or buying Bitcoin, for me now is not a time that I'm going to be doing that. I would need to see for sure that price is heading upwards. I would need to see higher lows and higher highs. Once I've seen one higher low and one higher high, then I'd simply buy on a retracement. But as things stand at the moment with this sideways moving price action, price could actually fall down further, and the market is extremely jittery because of what's been going on with the crypto exchanges and bankruptcies and collapses of these exchanges. The market is very nervous, and it doesn't take much. It takes a lot more, it seems, at the moment to encourage buyers into the cryptocurrency markets. It doesn't take much to spook sellers into selling off, and that's what's happened here on the news. And it could potentially happen again. If it does happen again, I would be anticipating price coming down to this 13,000-ish level. Is that tradable? Potentially, yes. If we're not talking about investing, if we're talking about trading, then yes, of course, we can short trade the cryptocurrencies just as much as we can short trade any other market, any other CFD market. So we can do this with cryptocurrencies, and potentially there could be an opportunity. The only thing that I would say would stop me from trading this short would be the speed of the movement, simply because if we go down to, let's go down to an hourly time frame, just so we see this last move to the downside here. And this is it, towards the beginning of November. So this is a pretty sudden move, very spiky, fast moving price action. Would I have been able to find a trade entry according to the strategy that I use in this market? Probably not. Probably not, because once price broke down, it then didn't really pull back to give a decent entry. Then it started getting very, very choppy indeed, which disrupts the price action and means that I'd be unlikely to find an entry there. And then it was really quite a steep fall with not many pullbacks. So few opportunities, if any, to get into the market on that fall. And the same could be true of where price is currently. So if price does decide to fall, it might just happen very, very suddenly, and there might not be an opportunity into the market at that point. Does that mean should we get into the market now in anticipation? Well, no, because we don't know for sure that price is going to go down, because at the moment it's simply consolidating sideways. It could go up or down. At the moment I have no real bullish bias on any of the cryptocurrencies, to be honest with you, at the moment. I think it's more of a wait and see environment. Bitcoin here, if I were to see a break back above this 17,500 level, then I would start to think about becoming bullish on this, because there is already a slightly higher high and a higher low just here, but price is held beneath this horizontal level, which is significant. We can see how strongly price has reacted at this level over here. So if price manages to break through that level, I would love then to see a retest, and I would consider buying in that area there and taking it conservatively back up to the next horizontal level. Those people interested in buying to hold rather than trading around this horizontal level could be an area that I would think about buying if price does make it above there. But a lot needs to happen before that actually all pans out. And alternatively, of course, price could come down and start trending lower, in which case I would simply be selling. So that's about it on Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Ethereum, which after Bitcoin is probably the second most liquid and most traded cryptocurrency. So again, I'm going to go to the monthly time frame just to show you these levels here. So I've got my low level based on this previous low over here. I've got a level just above price, which is based on what had previously been the all-time high back in 2017 and remained that way until 2020. So that is another significant level. Now, generally horizontal levels of support and resistance need to see 2 or more touches in order to be called support or resistance. And here at this level, I've only got 1 touch. However, that's enough for me to draw the level in, bearing in mind that at that point, there wasn't really much, well, there wasn't any previous price action to go on. Price has strongly reacted from that level, so it is going to be a strong psychological level. People will be looking for something to happen at that level. So I have drawn it in as a level, even though at this point there's only 1 touch there. Having said that, it's always worth going down the time frames, because as we can see here, there is another touch of that as a level of support there on the weekly time frame. I am actually going now to put another horizontal level in here, which is this one around about 358 there. It's been resistance over here in 2017. It's been support. It's been resistance again 2019 and support 2020. So that's my next lower level if price does break down through the 877 level or thereabouts. So down to the daily time frame now. Ethereum, again, it's not behaving in a particularly strongly directional manner at all at the moment. So we can see previously these strong moves here. And that is just not what we see at the moment on Ethereum. So we've got a sideways movement here, got sideways movement, sideways, sideways. So again, much the same as Bitcoin. This is a very indecisive market. And again, I wouldn't be looking to buy this market until I see higher highs and higher lows, which I am starting to pick out here. But I also need to see a break of the next horizontal level to the upside, because I need to know that we're out of this consolidation that really has plagued price since it got into this region between these levels. So a break to the upside followed by a retest, and I would be looking to trade by getting in there and potentially looking at, for if I were to be looking to buy and hold cryptocurrencies, that would be an area that I would consider doing it. Having said that, I don't necessarily believe that the price of Ethereum is going to rise at the moment. And alternatively, it could just come down, break down through this next horizontal support level, in which case I'll be looking for short opportunities from there or below. Depending on the time frame, there could be quite a few opportunities to get into a daily trend where there might only be one opportunity on the daily time frame. So that's really all I have to say about Ethereum. I'm going to cover Bitcoin Cash as well. Moves in a reasonably similar manner to Bitcoin. There are just a couple of levels that I've got in here. This strong blue line is based on this previous low over here, because that was a strong reaction at that level. I've got these lows in here from 2019. Those are marked in there. And above price, these lows over here, where the horizontal level really did offer some considerable support from 2019 all the way through to 2020. That level of support was active, so that's the next level above price. So then zooming in a little bit, where does that bring us? Well, again, it brings us within this range here. So price is just moving sideways within this range. I'd say it looks slightly more bearish than bullish. If I was going to pick a direction, then it probably would be short at this stage. But at the moment, price is really just ranging sideways. In order to trade this, I would need, for longs, I would need price to come up above this horizontal level and retest, and I'd be looking to get in around the horizontal level, not at the horizontal level. I never place limit orders to enter at a level specifically. I'm always looking for the bar by bar price action, the candlesticks. Each individual candlestick tells so much of the story, and what I would be looking for would be price to break up through here, come back down, retest, and that retest, I would want it to look like a small bullish candle or medium-sized bullish candle. So it could be like that, or it could be simply this, but in a green color. Small to medium-sized. What I mean by small to medium-sized is I need to, for the strategy that I trade, I use the candle as the the entry and the stop loss. So if I were to be buying, then the top of the candle plus spread would be my entry, and the bottom of the candle would be my stop loss. And so what I would be waiting for would be a break up through here, a retest, and then I'd be waiting for my bullish candle. And I would want my bullish candle to be reasonably small in size because of the fact that my entry is above the high, my stop loss is beneath the low. So that is my risk. And every time price moves 1 times my risk, I would make 1% of my account if I were to be risking 1% of my account on each trade. Whereas if this candle is much bigger, the entry and the stop loss still have to be at the top and the bottom of the candle, but now price has to move much further to get me into just my 1-to-1 profit. So that's why I'm looking for a reasonably small sized candle when I'm looking for a retest. The alternative, if this isn't going to go up, would be for price to break down instead. The only thing I would say about this is I've got the horizontal level drawn in here. Price could break down through that level and retest it. However, I would be cautious about this low level over here because that's recent. That is, you know, just a month ago, and price reacted strongly at that level. So if I were to be taking a short trade from here, this level would creep up fairly soon. So it would have to be a small candle if I was trading short based on this price action here, because I would need to be able to take profit at break even at this horizontal level. So what I would do is potentially, if that was a 1-to-1 reward to risk, I could scale out of half of the position, leave the other half in. That means that I've locked in profit if my trade continues to be profitable. I've locked in profit in case the trade turns around and stops me out, in which case I would be stopped out on half a position and I'd be in profit on half a position. So overall it should be break even. So really that is all I have to say about Bitcoin Cash. I'm sorry that this webinar is not, you know, I'm not seeing opportunities right now or even in the next few days really on the cryptocurrencies, and it has been this way for quite some time, and it's simply a matter of waiting and being patient. There is absolutely nothing wrong, if you're a trend trader especially, there's nothing wrong with having a month or even 2 months without placing a trade. Because we only want to look for the best trades we possibly can. And if there aren't any trades that are the best trades, then it's fine just not to trade them. Moving on then to Ripple. Now, Ripple is a pretty popular cryptocurrency, and I've got very similar horizontal levels based on this past price action here. So I've got a low down here, and I've got another level of potential support over here. It was support back in 2018, 2019, support in 2020 as well. So that level's in there just beneath, well, it's the next level down from where price currently is. And then this level here closer to price is from these highs, so from the July highs over here, and then September highs, December high, August 2020 again. And then we can see that that level has been tested as support as well. So again, on Ripple right now, I don't really see an uptrend there is here a higher low and a higher high. So that low is slightly higher than that one. That high is definitely higher. However, the price action after that is not the best. I am just going to put a fib on here from this low to this high, just so we can see where this this price action pulled back to, and it did actually pull back to the 78.6 level. When I'm using Fibonacci, I tend to look for, in a trending market, I tend to look for retracements that are between, let me show you this again. So I tend to look for retracements that are between the 38.2 level and the 61.8 level. So some kind of retracement down to here, that would indicate to me that there is still strength potentially in the trend. Once something starts to pull back, further than that 61.8, so in this case even further than the 78.6 level, then that starts to look to me like exhaustion in the trend, and it could signify that the price action either needs to pull back or maybe even a change is on the way. So in terms of price action pulling back, it's just a patience game. Is a downtrend going to start from here? Maybe. Or is this just a pause in the uptrend? We have to just wait and see on this, as with the rest of the cryptocurrencies. At the moment, price is ranging between these two levels, and I do see this as a range because of the strong pullback. I mean, it's pretty much a 100% pullback of this move. So I envisage price potentially being in a range for a bit longer. However, of course, I will be ready for either breakout here. So potentially if there's a breakout to the downside, I'd be looking for a pullback and a trade to the downside. Hopefully in around this area here. Bearing in mind this is a weekly time frame that we're looking at here. So let's go to the daily time frame. So really we're kind of stuck slap bang in the middle of this range, no real trend happening. So in order to trade this, I would need to see trending price action. So I would need to see a break of the low, preferably a break of this low. Well, that goes with the territory of breaking the horizontal level. Then I would need to see a pullback and for a lower high to form. And that would potentially give me a trade down to this next horizontal level. And I would be pretty conservative at the moment, and I wouldn't be looking to take things much further than that at the moment. Alternatively, of course, price could break to the upside. If it does break to the upside, then I'm really looking for price to come above this horizontal level here, retest, and hopefully find an opportunity there. So really with this, while price is within this range here, I'm not really that interested in trading it. There are so many other things that are more interesting to me to trade at the moment than cryptos, and so I don't see any strong need to jump into the market until I really get a signal that it is on the move. And in order for that to happen, I do need to see either this high level or this low level broken. Cardano is actually looking particularly bearish in comparison to some of the other cryptocurrencies. So I've got a couple of levels of support and or resistance drawn in here, and I don't have a low level simply because I don't have any more data on my chart from previous. So I can't draw in a low level of support from what we've got here on this chart. What I can say is that it looks similarly very rangy, similar to Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, etc. However, I am definitely more bearish than bullish because price is drifting to the downside. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be able to find an entry because that would depend on strategy. And you know, when we've got these long drifts, this is a whole month of price action where price just didn't really move for a whole month. So there isn't a lot to go on in terms of trend trading. Again, I would just need to see, to trade short, I would need to see a break to the downside out of this range, and then a pullback, perhaps a pullback to the bottom of this range here, and then a short opportunity from there. If price just breaks and goes and doesn't give me a retest opportunity, well, that's fine. And am I going to kick myself and wish I hadn't missed the trade, wish I'd jumped in right now rather than waiting? No, because it is through the power of probabilities that trading can become successful and profitable, consistently profitable. So if I get a trading entry, I need to take it, and I need to take it the same as every previous entry, but I need to remember that it's all about probabilities. So some of these trades might win, some of them might lose, and it's all about probabilities. What I want is to give myself an edge as to which direction price might be going next and where might be a good place to get in. And at the moment, don't have that because I can't tell you which direction price is going next from here. I can't tell you whether it's going up or down, although I am definitely bearish on Cardano, probably more so than some of the other cryptos. Sider's asked a question, and Sider's question is, do I always do my analysis on MT4 or do I work with TradingView also? And this is actually MT5, but they're very similar, MT4 and MT5. I actually do most of my analysis on MT4. It's a platform that I have been using for many, many years, so I'm very, very used to using it, which is one of the reasons that I use it. Aside from that, at IC Markets, they've got C Trader, and that's, if I'm not using MT4, it tends to be C Trader that I use. Hope that helps. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you do your chart analysis. As long as you've got decent charts with accurate data, then it doesn't really matter. The data is the data. It doesn't matter particularly what charting package you use. It's just, sometimes it's whatever you're used to. Sometimes it's whatever the broker offers. At IC Markets, we do have the benefit. They offer several different platforms, which is fantastic. But whichever one you choose will be the right one for you. Get rid of that. And let's see if we can find something that's not so much doom and gloom. Solana is not one of them. I mean, this is just ranging sideways after having this huge dip. So the potential for another dip is there. So I certainly wouldn't want to be buying into this market right now. Potential for another dip is there. And would I be able to sell it? It would just depend on the price action at the time. If it dips like this, then quite possibly not, because that's a very fast move. And even on, let's go down to a 15-minute time frame, for example. Even on a 15-minute time frame, that drop has happened very, very quickly. Let's see if we can find another one. So some of these areas could potentially yield opportunities. I'm looking at, where do I want to find? So I'm looking from the 6th of November to the 9th of November. Let's see if we can find that. So on an intraday basis, we can see here that there is a downtrend on this 15-minute time frame, even though on the daily time frame it looked like a very steep move that couldn't be traded. There is the possibility that a steep move like that could be traded on a lower time frame sometimes. It's trading on lower time frames is a separate kind of skill. I'd say it's harder than trading on higher time frames. But it's definitely possible, especially if you do your chart analysis correctly and get your bias, your direction correct from the start. At the moment, this is just moving sideways, and I wouldn't put it past price to make another run for it to the downside. So now is not the time for me to be buying that. The last crypto that I want to look at is actually Dogecoin. Now, this one is the one that a while back Elon Musk was tweeting about, and he managed to manipulate the market. This is the thing about the cryptocurrency markets as well, is they're still so small that they are manipulatable, if that's a word, manipulatable. It is possible to manipulate the cryptocurrency markets, not necessarily for you or I and the average retail trader, but certainly if you're someone like Elon Musk with a large Twitter following, for example, then it is possible to make a statement and for that to have an impact on the markets. And so that's what's happened with this coin in the past. The reason that I'm going to talk about this coin is because we've got similar price action here. We've got very, very rangy sideways markets staying within those two horizontal levels there. We've then had price break to the upside. Now this break to the upside, this is a daily time frame. This break to the upside, let's look at what's the date there? It's 27th of October. So let's have a look at that on let's say the hourly time frame to start off with. So here we had the break up through that resistance. We then had a pullback, and we then had a bullish candle bouncing from pretty much the exact area that I was looking for over here. There's a small bullish candle. In fact, there are two small bullish candles here. Entry into this one would have made a 2-to-1 reward to risk before price turned around. Even after price turned around, it's still possible to trade this to the upside. Now, on a lower time frame, this is the hourly time frame. On a lower time frame, it can be possible to trade in between horizontal levels like this. The next move to the upside is a bit of a different example, because this is a move that was so strong that there wasn't an opportunity back into the market, not with a retest of the horizontal level. The price was just moving too quickly. Does that mean it's not tradable? No, absolutely not. It is still potentially tradable. It's just that the right opportunities have to be patiently waited for. So let's move over to what's currently happening on the daily time frame. What's currently happening on this daily time frame is I've got what appears to be a double bottom on the daily time frame here. So I've got a low and then a high and then same low. Price is then coming up. It has broken through the horizontal level. It's broken through this previous high to form a new high, and it's then come down. And what I'm looking for is, where is this low going to form? Is it going to form over here? In which case there could be an opportunity to enter the market long, maybe even on the daily time frame. We'll have to wait and see, or alternatively it might not pull back this far and it might just take off, in which case I'd look probably to the lower time frames to see if I could get into anything. But basically, based on this price action here, higher high and potential higher low over here, this is really the only cryptocurrency that I am considering potentially buying, simply because price action seems to be on the move. It's not, all of the other cryptos were settled around this area of consolidation, this range, whereas this one is now broken out of the kind of June to October range, and more importantly, it's broken out, it's come back in, it's then broken out again. So I think it's less likely to come back in this time, and it's more likely to potentially bounce at this horizontal level, followed by a move to the upside. So that's what I will be really looking out for. So in terms of building a watch list of the cryptos, really I've got all of the major cryptos on my watch list, plus some others. It's not a particularly extensive watch list. I've got the cryptocurrencies that I look at frequently: Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and then I look at Cardano, Solana, and Ripple. Those are the main ones that I look at. And I'm not going to go through any more to try and add more onto a watch list, because I don't believe that now is necessarily going to be the time that the price breaks out on all of these things. I think we need to see something happen first before another breakout. The exception to this is Dogecoin, simply because it does look like there is a higher high and higher low in place on the daily time frame, and it could potentially be tradable. But I would be very, very conservative, or relatively conservative, with my profit targets. I'd probably mark this level in here. It's been support and it's recently been resistance. If I could make sure to be out of if I could be sure to be out of the range, on most of these cryptocurrencies, then I would be much happier to start buying them again. But for now, I'm just going to be patient and wait to see what the market does, and I will be following what the market does. Bear with me one moment while we get this back up. Just to give you the contact details for IC Markets, they have got all of the usual social media channels. So they've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can contact them or keep track of them on there. They've got a fantastic customer services team, so do feel free to contact them with any questions that you might have. There's an email address there for you, and if you prefer to speak to someone on the phone, then there's a contact telephone number there for you as well. So thank you very much for being with me this evening. I do hope to speak to you again before the year is out. Have a wonderful evening. We'll speak soon. Cheers, everyone.